Stop. Stop telling yourself that story. The one that says you are defined by your circumstances. The one that whispers you are a product of your past. The one that insists your future is limited by the opportunities you see in front of you right now. Stop it. Because that story, the one you've been listening to for years, is a lie. And today we are going to replace it with a truth so powerful, it has the ability to reshape the very architecture of your life. For centuries, the wisest minds have arrived at the same profound conclusion. The world we inhabit is not built of bricks and mortar, but of the thoughts we choose to entertain. Our mind is a garden, and our thoughts are the seeds. We can either let it grow wild with the weeds of doubt and despair, or we can cultivate it into a paradise of achievement and purpose. The Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Our life is what our thoughts make it." James Allen, in his classic work As a Man Thinketh, stated that a man is literally what he thinks, his character being the complete sum of all his thoughts. This is not mere philosophy. It is a law of the universe, as real as gravity. But if this is true, why do so many lives remain shackled to mediocrity? Why do dreams wither on the vine? The answer lies not in the absence of thought, but in the quality of it. Today's story is a deep exploration of this very principle. It's about a man who possessed nothing, yet discovered the key to everything. It is a journey from the mindset of scarcity to the reality of abundance. Stay with us because the lesson embedded within this narrative has the power to fundamentally reshape the architecture of your own life. In the chaotic heart of a city, within a grand echoing train station, lived a man named Elias. To the world, he was simply a beggar, a part of the grimy backdrop, as overlooked as a crack in the pavement. His days were a monotonous cycle of survival, his world painted in shades of gray. He wasn't just poor in coin, he was impoverished in spirit. His defining thought, repeated like a mantra from dawn till dusk, was, "I have nothing." This thought shaped his posture, causing his shoulders to slump. It shaped his voice, reducing it to a mumbled plea. It shaped his reality, making him invisible to the thousands of people who rushed past him, each lost in their own world. One sweltering afternoon, a man stepped onto the platform who seemed to exist in a different reality altogether. He was impeccably dressed, but it wasn't his expensive suit that caught Elias's attention. It was his presence. The man, let's call him Mr. Finch, moved with a quiet confidence, an aura of purpose. Elias's internal monologue immediately began its familiar script. Look at him. He has everything. He must be incredibly wealthy. A man like that wouldn't miss a few coins. He will surely give me a generous amount. Fueled by this flicker of desperate hope, Elias shuffled towards the businessman, holding out a hand calloused by hardship and empty of worth. Mr. Finch stopped. But instead of reaching for his wallet, he looked directly into Elias's eyes, seeing not a beggar, but a man. He asked a question that shattered the monotonous rhythm of Elias's day. "You are asking me to give to you. Tell me, what do you have to give in return?" The question hung in the air, sharp and unexpected. Elias was stunned into silence. In all his years, people had either ignored him or tossed him a coin out of pity. No one had ever asked him for something. Confused, he stammered, "Sir, I am just a beggar. I survive by asking for alms. I have nothing to give to anyone." Mr. Finch's expression was not one of judgment, but of curiosity. He smiled slightly. "I am a businessman," he said, his voice calm and steady. "The world operates on a principle of value exchange. I create value, and I am compensated for it. You are asking for compensation without offering any value. If you truly believe you have nothing to give, then you must ask yourself why you have the right to receive. Think about it." After saying this, Mr. Finch nodded politely, boarded his train, and was gone. Elias remained frozen, the chaotic noise of the station fading into a dull roar. The businessman's words were not cruel, but they were heavy. They settled deep within him, not as an insult, but as an undeniable truth. He replayed the encounter in his mind. "I have nothing to give, so I have no right to receive." That night, for the first time in years, Elias didn't dream of food or shelter. He lay awake under the cold station lights, wrestling with this new, uncomfortable idea. His first reaction was anger. Who is he, a rich man, to lecture me? What does he know of my struggle? But the anger soon faded, replaced by a profound and unsettling question. What if he's right? For 2 days, Elias didn't beg. He couldn't. The words, "I have nothing," now felt like a confession of worthlessness. He watched the world with new eyes, observing the transactions around him. The news vendor offered papers for coins. The food stall owner offered hot meals for cash. Everyone was giving something to get something. He was the only one offering nothing but an empty hand. He was a black hole of need in a universe of exchange. On the 3rd day, sitting in utter despair, his gaze fell upon a forgotten corner near the tracks. There, defiantly pushing through the gravel and grime, was a patch of vibrant wild flowers. They swayed gently in the breeze, a splash of impossible beauty in his world of gray. And in that moment, an idea, not a thought, but a spark of inspiration, ignited in his mind. It was a fragile, radical concept. What if I have been wrong? What if I do have something to give? He walked over to the flowers, his heart pounding. He gently plucked a handful, their soft petals a stark contrast to his rough hands. He returned to his usual spot, but this time, he felt different. He was no longer just a beggar. He was a man with a plan. When the next person, a young woman, dropped a coin into his cup, Elias didn't just nod. He looked her in the eye, smiled a genuine rusty smile, and held out a single beautiful wildflower. "Thank you," he said. "This is for you." The woman was taken aback. She paused, her hurried expression softening into one of surprise, and then a smile of her own. "Oh," she said, taking the flower. "It's beautiful. Thank you." That single interaction changed everything. It wasn't about the coin anymore. It was about the connection. It was an exchange. He had given something, and in return, he received not just money, but a moment of shared humanity, a flicker of dignity. An incredible thing began to happen. People were drawn to this strange, beautiful transaction. The man who gave flowers. Donations increased, but Elias noticed the pattern Mr. Finch had alluded to. As long as he had flowers, people gave generously. When he ran out, the coins trickled to a stop. His success was directly tied to his ability to give. One day, he saw him again. Mr. Finch, sitting inside a waiting train. Elias's heart leaped. He rushed over, no longer a shuffling beggar, but a man with purpose. He held up his bouquet. "Sir," he called out, "today, I have something to give you. If you give me money, I will give you these flowers in return." A look of genuine recognition and approval spread across Mr. Finch's face. He smiled warmly, handed Elias a crisp bill, far more than a coin, and took a few flowers. "I see you have discovered the secret," Mr. Finch said. "Today, you are no longer a beggar who takes. You are a businessman who trades. You have understood." As the train pulled away, Mr. Finch's final words echoed in Elias's mind. "You have become a businessman." The thought was a seismic shock. Am I a businessman now? He pondered this for a long time, and then, an epiphany washed over him with the force of a tidal wave. I am not a beggar. I have never been just a beggar. People are not giving me money out of pity. They are paying for the flowers. They are buying a product, a moment of beauty. This is not charity. This is a business. That singular thought changed his entire identity. He wasn't Elias the beggar anymore. He was Elias the florist. Overcome with a sense of power he had never known, he made a bold decision. That day, he gathered his earnings, left the train station, and never returned. 6 months later, at that very same station, 2 well-dressed men met on the platform. One was Mr. Finch. The other was Elias. He was wearing a simple but clean suit, his posture straight, his eyes bright with life. They shook hands. Mr. Finch had a curious look on his face. "Forgive me, but do I know you? You seem familiar." Elias smiled a broad, confident smile. "Yes, sir. We've met twice before, right here on this very platform." Mr. Finch's eyes searched his memory, and then widened in utter astonishment. "Wait! You're the beggar! The man with the flowers. Elias laughed, a full, hearty sound. That was me. But today, I am no longer that man. I am the founder of Blooms from the Tracks, a successful flower business. I have a small shop now, and I'm traveling today to meet with a new supplier to expand my operations. The businessman was speechless. That's incredible. How? What changed everything? Elias looked at him with deep gratitude. You did, he said. You didn't give me a coin. You gave me a truth that we only truly receive when we first learn to give. But the greatest lesson was this. I realized I was never really a beggar defined by what I lacked. I was a potential businessman, defined by what I could offer. I just had to change my thoughts to see myself that way. The two men shook hands again, this time, as equals, as fellow architects of their own reality. Then, they each boarded their trains, heading toward their respective bright futures. So, how do we apply this profound lesson to our own lives? It begins by understanding that, like Elias, we are all living within the reality created by our dominant thoughts. First, we must audit our inner dialogue. What is the recurring thought that defines your days? Is it, I'm not good enough, I don't have enough time, or I'll never succeed? This is your, I have nothing mantra. You must consciously challenge and replace it. Second, we must identify our flower. Elias's flower was a literal object, but for us, it is a metaphor. Your flower is the value you can offer the world. It could be your talent for listening, your skill in coding, your passion for teaching, or simply your ability to bring a positive attitude to a room. Everyone has a flower. What is yours? What is that unique gift, skill, or passion you can give to others? And finally, and most importantly, we must act as if. Elias didn't wait to feel like a businessman to start acting like one. The act of giving the flower transformed his identity. Don't wait until you feel confident to speak up in a meeting. Don't wait until you feel like an artist to start creating. Act as the person you want to become, and your thoughts and your reality will align with that action. Your life, as it stands today, is a direct reflection of the thoughts you have cultivated. If you want a different life, you must be brave enough to plant different seeds. Stop seeing yourself as small, as lacking, as a beggar asking for life's scraps. Recognize your inner potential. See yourself as strong, as capable, as a person of value with something incredible to offer. Because when your thoughts change, your world doesn't just look different. It becomes different. You are the architect. Start building. If this story resonated with you, give it a thumbs up, share what you learned in the comments below, and share it to inspire someone who needs to hear this message. We'll see you in the next story.